Welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for my very first guest of this week is this incredible singer known by the name of Cruz. So I'm about to add Melody into the live now and I have a chat with Melody about her incredible music. So yeah, let's add Melody in and have a chat with Melody.
Hey,
Hi,
how's it
how
going?
are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I just want to say first up, thank you so much, Melody, for taking the time to join my show. It's such an incredible pleasure having you on the show for today. To people that don't know who you are, if you can give a bit of backstory about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Definitely, yeah. For anyone who doesn't know about me, I am an American singer-songwriter. My name's Melody Cruz. I don't know if you already said that or not. Yeah, I recently released my debut single, Too Late, back in September. I have another one on the way this month, November 12th, called Make Me Stay. And I'm a pop singer. My main thing, though, is I'm really trying to bring back that era of the strong female vocals, like the Christina Aguilera era, and just all of that, just when everyone had more gusto. That's what I'm trying to do back into pop music.
Well, as you mentioned, Too Late, what was it like creating Too Late? What was it like coming up with the whole idea of wanting to create Too Late in the first place?
Well, it was really heavily inspired by the everything that happened in 2020, the pandemic, number one, also just all of the political issues and everything going on. It just became really exhausting to be in existence in the year 2020 in this world. So I had myself and a lot of other people had a lot of frustrations, and I think that Too Late was really an outlet for me to get a lot of that out. And I reference a lot of things in that song. I think a lot of it kind of went under the radar in the initial reception of the song. I think that some people didn't really understand exactly what I was talking about, but I touch on a lot in there, and I talk about the feelings just kind of being hopeless, and the process of creating that, I think, was really therapeutic. It made me feel like I got a lot off my chest.
So on to my very first question, and so you've actually created another really incredible original song called Pretty. Such an incredible song that
Oh,
I,
thank
I
you.
heard it and I was like, wow, this actually has a really good vibe to itself. What was it like getting to create Pretty in the first place? And what captured your eyes and said, hey, I want to make this song?
Well, actually, Pretty came from a sad experience from me, actually. There was a guy, I was doing a theater program, and this guy basically said to me, like, hey, you have a really good voice, but you're not really pretty, you don't really have a good look. And he was also kind of drunk when he was saying this too, so it was just how they say drunk words, sober thoughts, I don't know, but it just kind of really hurt my feelings in the moment. And I'm like, wow, I have somebody telling me you're talented and you're good, but you're not going to actually get anywhere because you're not good looking enough. And so the opening lines of that song, Pretty, are, to prove you wrong, I'll start right here and now. And that's just my way of kind of being like, you know what, if you don't think that I'm good looking, and I'm sure that, if that one guy thinks it, probably other people do, but I'm like, even if that is the case, it's not going to matter. I'm still going to sing. I'm still going to do my thing. Um, and I wanted it to be something that could inspire other people that maybe don't fit the conventional mold of attractiveness in this industry. And that's what I hope it is.
Well, you definitely proved that guy right. You proved that guy right. It was such an incredible song, and you are pretty in your very own way. And with that song, it definitely proved it. And I just want to say that firsthand. Whoever hasn't heard of Pretty, definitely go check it out because it's such a sensational song, and your voice is truly incredible. And I have to say that first up. So
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
very welcome. So on to my very next question. So with performing, you've performed numerous of incredible covers. What has been your most favorite cover to perform and why?
You know, I am between two. I would say it's either Shallow by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper or Rolling in the Deep by Adele. And if I had to really pick one, I'd probably say Shallow. And the reason why is because it is just one of those songs that I feel like if it wasn't for Lady Gaga, like if it wasn't written for her, like I feel like it could have been for me, because I love how it feels to sing that song. I love how it sits in my voice, and I love the power behind that song, both in the musicality and the meaning of the lyrics. And every time I sing that, I usually end my solo shows with Shallow. Shallow is one of my closers, and it seems to be kind of like a fan favorite. So that song has really kind of, I feel like, helped me gain a lot of confidence and develop my style the more and more that I did it.
On to the very next question. So you've actually performed a cover of Take On Me. What was it like getting to perform this cover, and what does this song mean to you, like especially as an artist?
Take On Me. So Take On Me, I sing this one a lot. Yeah, I think that as an artist, to me, I really like that this song can be interpreted in many different ways. I mean, you take the original one by Aha, it's very upbeat and very 80s synth driven song, which I love that sound, and that's the kind of the sound that I am starting to showcase again in my music. But when I do Take On Me, I usually do a little bit more of a stripped down version, and I think that some of the lyrics in the song get lost in the upbeat version, and it really is a great song. It can be interpreted in many different ways, and I think that there's a lot of room in that song to show off vocals, because I mean, you go really low, you go really high. It's iconic for a reason, you know. So doing it has been really great in my live shows and on TikTok and Instagram and everywhere that I post it, because I feel like it's a way to show my artistry. I do it a different way than people are used to hearing it.
So on to the very next question. So you've actually performed a cover of I Drove All Night. What was it like getting to perform this cover, and like what does this song mean to you?
I Drove All Night. Okay, so Roy Orbison and then Celine Dion also did it a little bit later. So actually, my dad is the one. He's actually on here right now. He's the Zerk 2 Cruz joined down there. He's the one who showed me that song, I Drove All Night. I actually hadn't heard of it before he showed me, and I was like, wow, this is a really powerhouse song. And it was crazy to me that nobody, I mean, not nobody knew of it. I'm sure people knew of it, but like, I feel like people my age didn't really know of it. And I was like, I feel like, why isn't anybody doing this? I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I actually used that song as one of my audition videos that I sent into American Idol, which, you know, for them. But yeah, I did it for that. And I mean, I posted it on YouTube, and I think people just liked it because I just did it because I wanted to, and not necessarily because it was the American Idol audition. So it's definitely something that I keep in my repertoire today.
So on to the very next question. So you've actually also performed a cover of Call Me Blondie. What was it like performing this one, and what does this song mean to you?
Call Me by Blondie. Well, this one, whew, well, actually, I started singing this when I was really little. We had this karaoke game. I think it was like the PlayStation 2 or something like that. Yeah. And I actually kind of learned how to read by watching the words on the screen, because you could still hear the vocals. And that was one of the first songs that I sang on that like karaoke game way back when I was maybe like 5 years old. So it's a song that I've always sang. But again, as I usually do, I take the upbeat songs and I kind of strip them down and do it in a more acoustic manner. And I think that doing that has brought a new sense of intimacy to the song. I think that when I perform it, I focus on more of like what they're saying in the lyrics and giving a different feeling to it. So again, like just similar to Take On Me, covering that song has been a way for me to kind of expand my artistry and to sprinkle myself into things that already exist, but do it in my own way.
So on to the very next question. So you've actually also performed a sensational cover of Rise Up. And I have to say why this is a sensational song, because I'm a huge fan of Doctor Who, and they actually played Rise Up in an episode of Doctor Who, and it was a Rosa Parks episode. I don't know if you've heard of Rosa Parks before.
Yes.
Yeah, so they played it in a Rosa Parks episode, and I was like, this song, like the way you've performed Rise Up was incredible, and it tops the episode of Doctor Who. So the way you performed it was sensational. And I have to say, whoever hasn't heard of, like, to people that haven't heard Melody's performance of Rise Up, definitely go check it out. It's incredible. So what was it like for you to perform this song? And yeah, what does this song mean to you?
Well, I posted that. I would say it's going on a while ago on TikTok. That was my first TikTok video that really took off, and I would say went viral. I don't really like viral's kind of subjective depending on what you mean by it, but it was the first video that really got me kind of, I guess, noticed on TikTok, and it was a really special song. One of the main things I remember from when that video was kind of circulating, a lot of people duetted it, and they used it as kind of like an anthem for like almost like the Black Lives Matter movement and just everything going on in that time. And I was really honored by that people just took my cover of it and were, you know, resonating with it in that way. And that was really special for me to feel like I could be a part of that. Also, I originally covered it just because of it's ambiguous. It could be rising up against anything. And I just did it because that was just the general feeling in the world at that point, that everything was just going, you know, kind of to shit. And I was like, come on, man, we just got to rise up. And I think that because of how the reason I covered that was to get the message across. I think people were really receptive to that. And I think that maybe is why that video did as well as it did, that cover.
On to our very next question. So what made you decide as a person, and especially as an artist, like to get into singing in the first place?
You know, it's funny because I think that singing has always been something that I just did. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I'm pretty sure I learned to sing simultaneously while learning to talk. Like, I mean, when I was little, my mom would sing to me all the time, and I remember I would hear my mom singing, and I wouldn't even know like what the words were that she was saying. So I would just kind of make sounds with my mouth that like sounded like the sound she was making. And I really think that I was musical before I was verbal. So I don't really think that there was ever a deciding moment in my life where I said music is what I want to do. It was just kind of, I was almost born into it. It was almost always the plan. I mean, my name is my real name. Melody is my real name. So it's almost just kind of like, all right, here you are, you're in the world now, go sing. And that's kind of how it's been, and that's kind of how it still is today.
On to our very next question. So who would be your all-time inspirational person or music artist that you like inspire to be like, and why?
I would say if I had to go somebody who's alive currently today, because there's different answers to this question. Someone who's alive today, I really aspire to achieve Adele's career. Adele's career is basically, I mean, I get compared to Adele a lot online when I post videos. A lot of people say I look like her, I sound like her. It's definitely a compliment, but it also can be hard because it's like I don't want to fall in that shadow of being like only compared to Adele. But she is definitely a huge inspiration for me. In the type of music she makes, the soul with which she sings, just her entire track record, how she got to where she is today. That's my alive, current, you know, in the media right now, artist that I inspire to be like. And then if I had to think about somebody like of all time, my biggest inspiration, which I can actually probably turn this and show you up on the wall there. Hold on. If it lets me. Whitney Houston. There's my picture of Whitney Houston. She is like my all-time inspiration. She just, oh my gosh. I mean, I like even the other day, because I'm like a freak like that. Like I follow a whole bunch of like Whitney Houston like tribute fan pages because I'm just like one of those freaks like that. And I'm like watching it, and I just started like crying the other day watching her just like perform, and I'm like, why? Like I don't know, but I would say definitely Whitney Houston, like above everything. But if I had to pick someone alive today, I would say Adele.
I have to ask, by the way, was you mentioned Whitney Houston? What did you think of the episode of Glee when they did the Whitney Houston episode of Glee?
Well, here's the thing. I love Glee. Like Glee was something when I was growing up that like I feel like I watched it too much. So like I'm a little biased where I say I love like almost everything Glee did, but it's funny because in the last like 2 years, Glee has kind of gotten in a little bit of heat with everybody. Like everyone's like looking back at Glee and being like, what's going on with this show? And it's funny because I have gone back and watched a few episodes from, I guess, more of an adult lens and been like, you know what? Yeah, some of the stuff is a little odd. But as far as the Whitney Houston episode goes, I think it was beautiful. I think it was beautifully done. I really love the How Will I Know cover that they opened with, where it's a cappella and they're all like wearing dresses and stuff on the stage. And I'm like, wow, I don't care what anyone says. That episode, I really liked it. I think they did a good job.
Awesome. So I'll start with your next question. So if you could work with any top 3 music artists in the music industry, who would they be and why? Like people that you would most vibe with?
So when you say people I'm working with, do you mean like other singers, or do you mean at like record?
Yeah, other singers. Yeah.
Other singers. Oh my gosh. There's so many. I have to pick 3. I would say, well, someone that I feel like I would really vibe with would be Miley Cyrus. Ever since even the Hannah Montana days, I've been a huge fan, and I've just kind of grown and evolved with her, like as her fan base changed and she changed. I kept up with everything she's doing, and to this day, I love her sound. I love that she's gone more rock in the last year or so. She's somebody that I would absolutely adore to do anything with, even if I like got her to like, fart and have that featured on one of my songs. I don't care. I just, I'll do it. Somebody else, honestly, and I'm just thinking like current people today, Lil Nas X, I would probably die to do any kind of a collaboration with him. I love the way that he is such a boundary pusher. He was told no so many times by so many people, and just look at him today. And that's so inspiring. So I would love to work with him. And then if I had to think of somebody else, I would say probably Adele, because I mean, we already talked about Adele and she's like my big idol. So, I mean, that kind of goes without saying,
Awesome. I love those choices. So on to my very next question. So if you could go anywhere on tour, any country after all this pandemic is over, what country would you want to go to and why? What country would represent you the most that you feel like, hey, I want to go to that country?
Well, I think my answer is a little bit biased because I have a lot of family in Ecuador. That's like from my dad's side, we're Ecuadorian, and I've never gotten to visit Ecuador. And that's something that I really want to do, just to kind of reconnect with my roots and to, meet my family down there that I haven't seen. And I think that just seeing that country, learning about the history of where my family came from, like, yeah, Ecuador is definitely like the top country for me, just because of the personal connection I have with it.
So on to our very next question. So what have you learned about yourself as a person and especially as an artist, like especially during COVID?
As an artist, I would say I learned to stop playing to what I think people want to hear. I think that before COVID, I was like, hello, everyone, here I am. No one's listening to me. Why am I like, why does everyone hate me? But I realize now that it's not that everyone hates me. I just need to just be me, which I've been really just trying to do, and not stress so much about necessarily posting the best thing or this and this. I just need to just be myself, post, and I'll find the people that connect with me, the people that vibe with me, they'll find me, and I'll find them. And that's my goal now as an artist. I don't necessarily think anymore like I'm going to post this because people are going to like this. I just think I'm going to do this. Somebody out there maybe will like it. And then if they find it, that's cool. And then they'll want to hear from me again, and I'll want to hear from them. And I think that that's a really important revelation I've had as an artist over the pandemic.
Also, our very next question. So what are like the positive and negatives into creating your own like music in the industry? And how do you get through those like negative moments as an artist?
The negative moments as an artist. Any artist right now watching this, I know you guys know. Okay. Excuse me. So, okay, putting your own music out as an independent artist, let's talk about it, because it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, it has been like I put my own music out for the first time really over the pandemic. So I learned how to do it. You know, I learned like how to go through a distributor, how to get a song copyrighted. And then I went through the whole process of being like, oh, I'm going to try to get this song on a bunch of playlists and this and this and this. And then I used a couple websites that I found out later on are not necessarily always the best, because there's just a lot of negative feedback. And so kind of to answer that side of your question, being like, how do you get through the negative stuff as an artist? I think that it's very important to develop a very strong sense of confidence and a sense of self. I need to know who I am, because I've gotten so much feedback from people telling me a million different things. Some people are like, you're too like loud. Some people are like, you need to be louder. Some people are like, you post too much, you post too little, you're ugly, you're beautiful, you're a good singer, you're a horrible singer, you're a good songwriter, you're a bad songwriter. I've heard so many different things. And at the end of the day, what does it really matter what they're saying? I just need to do what I'm doing. And I think that that's how I get through those hard moments, is I'm just like, yeah, this person's telling me I suck, or, oh, this thing didn't go the way I wanted it to go. But I just kind of like, I let myself have maybe like 5 minutes to like be mad about it. And then I'm like, okay, on to the next thing. And I just found that you just gotta keep moving. You can't stop, or it's going to catch up with you. You just got to keep like running and chasing after what you want. And then any negativity, just leave it in the dust. You know, that's what I've been trying to do.
So it's our very last question. So like, what's next for you, like music wise, for like the end of this year and on to next year? Like, what's next for you?
Well, I have some other things coming up soon. So I'm going to talk about this month. One thing, anybody watching this right now, if you guys are interested, I am going to be partnering with Least of All Sound Recording Studios in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm working on a direct to vinyl project with them. What that means is people can go online and order any of the songs. Pretty is one of them. Careless is another one. Make Me Stay and Too Late, I believe, are the 4 songs that we're offering through that. And then if you order it, like let's say someone who's watching right now, Rayla Wolf, I'm just reading somebody in there. What's up, Rayla Wolf? Let's say Rayla Wolf orders it and he goes, I want Melody Cruz to give me the shout out. So he can write in there, to say this. So then I can say, hey, Rayla Wolf, thank you so much for buying this record. And I hope you enjoyed this rendition of Careless by me. And then I start singing. And then that's the one and only copy of that record that he will have, that, and nobody else in the world will have that copy of that exact performance. So I think that's a really exciting project I have coming up later this month. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely check it out. It's only, I think, $25 for a record. So it's not even that bad. But I have a bunch of shows, gigs coming up, local stuff in my area, the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. I have Make Me Stay that's coming out next Friday. And I'm hoping that within the next 6 months, I can have a full EP released. Really, my plan is to just keep releasing singles, keep posting on social media, keep just growing my brand and finding people who connect with my material, my songs. And that's really my plan for right now, just to find my place and to just, once I get there, roll with it.
Well, I would love to ask you something, Melody, if you're free to do it now. Would you like to perform one of your original songs on the show?
I would love to. Yeah, I have my guitar right here because I didn't know if we were going to do that, but I figured, I was like, it might as well have it just to be prepared. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll do Pretty, because that's one of the songs that I actually haven't officially released yet. I mean, it's out online, but it's not on like Spotify yet. So maybe I'll do that just to kind of like, just to show everybody here, because we talked about it earlier. All right, cool. So I'm going to do Pretty. To prove you wrong, I'll start right here and now. You made the bed, but I'm not laying down. You pulled me in, you held me close, all to let you know I'll never be Marilyn Monroe. That I know, but I'm here to show that this is me. every party, but then there's me. I guess I'm pretty in my own sort of kind of. What am I worth when beauty's all we know? Where are the girls who look like me to go? Do you mean to tell me we should spend our lives alone, isolated in a quarantine zone? I say hell no. You'll say hello when you meet me. I guess I'm pretty in my own sort of kind of way. You try to tell me that I needed to hide away. She skips a line at every party, but then there's me. I guess I'm pretty in my own sort of kind of. Hate to break it to you, but I'm already here. I deserve to live and fight every day to say, yeah, yeah. You will not affect me, you will stay out of my way. Even if I have to make you your behave. Because I'm me. I'm more than pretty in my own sort of kind of way. I'm sorry, but I have the audacity to stay. Breathing the same air as you, cause of me. I'm more than pretty in my own sort of kind of, own sort of kind of, own sort of kind of way.
Yes, Melody. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Do you have like any last final thoughts that you'd like to share to people in the show at the end?
I would say anyone who's watching this right now that is a musician or an actor or an artist, anybody who is like trying to make it in this crazy world in the entertainment industry, just know that you are not alone in your struggles. Like we all want to put on a good face online and like, but at the end of the day, we're all struggling. We're all like really just trying to be heard. And there's a lot of noise going on right now. So just, I would say anything I've learned to save you a lot of grief, be true to yourself. Seriously, like I know it sounds cliche, but like post the things that make you happy, post the things that you, not that you think other people want to see, but that you connect with, that brings you joy. And then even if your growth is slower, it'll be more sustainable in the long run. And just know that, you know, my DMs are always open to anybody who just wants to talk or share experiences. And I also just want to thank everybody for watching today, because it really means a lot for you guys to stop in. Seriously.